Hey guys, it's Eric Crownover from Nerdy Geek Talks for all your nerdy geeky needs. Here with episode 43 of Steel City Bots. Joining me tonight, we have Soundjack. How are you?
I am doing very well, and how are you doing?
I'm doing great since you found some awesome toys for me.
Yeah.
That's all you got to go first, actually. Not gonna lie. I'm
Oh, cool.
corrupt. I'm corrupt. That's how things work here.
So, to get more recognition on your show, we should all buy you more things.
Well, okay, you didn't. You bought it for me, but I'm going to pay you. It's not like that.
Well,
But
yeah, fair.
tune in
Yes.
next week to see what he got me, because I don't have it yet, because he just bought it and he doesn't live that close to me. But anyways, Miguel, how are you?
I'm doing really well. I'm basking in the glory of perfection
I
right
hate
now.
you. I almost thought about making you go last because you have that. Anyways, Jared, how are you?
Yeah, a little bit of pain, but doing all right. Pulling through.
I know your face hurts me too.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
didn't mean
So-
that.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
That was such low hanging fruit, Eric.
I
Savage.
I don't know why I said that to him. He's not Tanner. Speaking of the devil, Chris,
Oh.
how are you?
Hey, thanks. I appreciate that.
I just wanted to
Alright.
make Tanner go last. Actually, I wasn't actually
I was
meaning you.
I was actually had something prepared if you made me go last. So
Oh well, I'm glad. I'm glad that I didn't make you go
I-
last. Then
I was just gonna say, why am I the new Tanner?
you're not as bad. But anyways, Tanner,
No.
how are you?
Okay, so I'm on Craigslist right now. I'm doing this thing now where I look on Craigslist before the episode to see if there's anything interesting, and I'm annoyed because there's nothing.
There's no Transformers on
same.
Craigslist.
There-
Nothing.
No.
There was a basketball and a football for me,
Well, that
brand new. Apparently.
Wow!
all right.
Yeah, hit me up if you guys want one. They're $10 a pop apparently.
Wait, did you say basketball and football?
And
Whoa.
football, $10 each, dude. Brand new. Apparently still in box. Mint.
Oh, wow. All the sport balls. Awesome.
Don't be that
Football.
person. Anyways,
Listen, if you can find a curling rock used by the Norwegian Olympic curling team,
don't give
I'll
it to
take
Tanner.
I'm actually considering looking that up.
Anyways,
Just-
soundtrack.
Yo, what up, my Norwegians out there? Represent.
I really don't think we have Norwegians listening. We have people from like very just random parts of the world, but I don't think
And-
any Norwegians.
And
are
thank
part
you
of
for
them.
listening, random people.
Yeah,
across the
you're
world. We
awesome.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
we're not
that we
complaining,
have.
We're just
No, I think it's the greatest. I wish we had more, but we have several places. It's odd and in the best way. But
I remember
Mhm.
when I was writing a fanfic years ago, I had someone who was like in like remote Africa was reading my fic. And I was
Huh.
like, huh, that's
It's
really
the guy who stole Miguel's figures.
cool. Oh my god, what if though?
but he didn't. He sent them back to Miguel. But anyways,
Did
he's told the story. But anyways, Soundjack, what is our history lesson for today?
Our history lesson for today. Today is July 9th, the day we are recording this. On this day in 2011, the Transformers Prime episode Metal Attraction premieres on the Hub. This was episode 18 of Transformers Prime, still within the first season. And the main focus of the episode was Bulkhead and RC were attempting to retrieve an item called the Polarity Gauntlet, and they got stuck together for the majority of the episode. However, the main reason Eric wanted this to be the history lesson for the day, because there is a very weird scene where it seems that Jax
Discretion
is
is advised.
Derby.
might have been trying to flirt with Optimus.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's this moment where she the Optimus like isn't there for some reason, and she's there in the Autobot base, and then she's like, "Oh, he's not here. Darn it! I wore lipstick and heels and everything." And Jack's just like, "Mom, stop!" Which I have to admit,
I love there on the wiki there is a caption, there's a picture of that scene, and the caption for that is just Jack discovers his mother's startling fetish.
Yeah, so she could have been joking, but I don't know. I found it very weird either way, so I
Would
don't
you
want to
say that
think about
that's
it.
Autoerotica? You can kick
Nope,
me now.
nope. Anyways, that was 7
Cyber-
years ago, though, so that makes me feel.
Wait,
Oh.
Cyber.
Oh God.
Never mind.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Cyber
so
erotica.
just
No,
stop.
Auto because Autobot, and also car.
No. Okay. Anyways, man, I was like, I can make that the history lesson, and it won't be. I can make it not be weird. I didn't take into
She
account that we
just
have
wants
both
the
Chris.
Matrix, man.
We
She
have
just
Chris
wants the
and
Matrix.
Tanner here, so.
How long have you known me, dude? You know I'm
Oh no, I know you. I just didn't think about you.
good. Always.
Well-
That means I'm unexpected. It's perfect.
I mean, I guess.
It's like the
That's why I
Spanish
asked.
Inquisition.
Exactly.
Nobody
That's, you know what?
expects a
I was
Spanish
gonna
Inquisition.
say that, but I figured no one would mix it. Maybe Tanner and you would get it, so I didn't say it.
All right. Anyways, what did everyone get this week to start us off? I think nothing, but in all honesty, I struggle remembering what I got every week. So it's possible I got something that I'm forgetting, but I don't think I did. Jared, what did you get this week?
I got Leader Dragonstorm because he finally got on clearance, and yeah, it was definitely worth waiting for him to go on clearance. Definitely. He was originally $50, but I got him for like 30. So yeah, pretty nice. Overall, the figure is okay.
How are the heads? The dragon heads.
They're all intact.
That's good.
Yep.
I just want to ask a question.
Yeah.
Why did it take so freaking long for Target to put The Last Night on clearance?
I know.
I have no idea.
We've had the same Wave 1 Deluxes there, I think, since they first arrived.
In all fairness, Dragonstorm is Wave 3, but
Yeah,
all of
but
the last night didn't really go on clearance till now.
2 Berserkers, 1 or 2 Barricades, and at least 1 Slash.
It's been a year.
It has been over a year.
Also known as
Because
too
April
freaking
would have
long.
been a year, right? April would have been a year.
Yeah, for like Berserker and those guys and stuff, and Bumblebee. Maybe I'll buy that Bumblebee for $2 if that ever gets that low. I would not buy it for anything more than $5 for sure, because I have the better version of that mold already. They made it worse and charged more money for it. I don't understand. Like normally I'm like, oh no, there's a reason. I don't know. But
Michael
anyways,
May does not need a reason. Fool.
let's go to Tanner. What'd you get this week? Nothing.
Okay, so I actually got 2 things. Okay, so I got the first one, which is a John Carpenter's The Thing shirt, and that's a great movie. But the second one, as you know, I got a car. So I got a CD for that car, and that CD is the Transformers soundtrack.
Okay, that counts. There you go.
That is awesome.
Okay.
Glad
Not
you
the
had something
not
relevant.
the Transformers sound jack. Unless sound jack, if you want to live in my glove box, there you go.
No. Transformer Soundjack will be my first mixtape. It will be totally lit fam.
And sound jack was voted off the show forever.
I think it's
And
you,
sent
man.
into another dimension.
Totally
I think
deserved
his
after that.
skin just went 3 levels whiter when he said that.
I can't see. I would kick him off the show, but then he wouldn't send me the stuff that he got me,
Exactly.
and that's all I'm
So he's
here
also-
for is to make my
Be like-
co-host get me stuff, that I pay them for anyways. But
What?
what? Anyway,
Nothing.
no, sorry, that was a secret. You weren't supposed to hear that. But anyways, Chris, what did you get?
I wonder if I can do it.
What?
Oh, Soundjack died.
Oh, poor Soundjack. I thought.
Why?
Tanner was gonna say something.
Nope.
Oh.
Back. He has
Anyways.
risen.
Chris, what did you get this week?
I got a few things. First of all, thanks to Russell, I now have Sharkticon Megatron from Transformers Prime, and oh my god, I'm glad I have him. I always regretted not grabbing him when I saw him at Walmart years ago. I have some troubles with his shoulders, but anyway, we're trying to shorten these bits, so one of the details. I also got today, with Jared's help, which reminds me I need to get that in the mail soon. I've got the Wave 2 Voyagers, so I now have Hunger and Elita 1. and those came right before I left. I called it. We have been text to prove it.
I thought you said they were going to come right after you left.
No, right before I left.
Oh.
And what do you know? They did. So I had enough time to open up Hunger before I left for.
Which do you like better?
I haven't had enough time to really decide yet, but I'm leaning towards Elita.
You're wrong. Well, okay, if you're not counting combiner modes, then you can be right. But if you're counting combiner modes, you're wrong.
Combiner modes, it's Hunger. But in terms of just the figure on its own, and maybe I'm biased, but I have to say Elita.
But she doesn't turn into a hungry two-headed dragon.
I already have 2 of those though. So.
Yeah, are you duelist?
I've got RID 2000, Megatron, and Galvatron. So I've got a surplus of those already.
This is true. I have the other version of that mold that you don't.
And I have a 2-headed Dragon Storm, so technically I have 3.
But your Dragon Storm is supposed to be 3-headed. You just got a broken one. I was gonna say you just got a broken one. But...
No, it wasn't broken when I bought it. But anyway, real quick, I just want to say if you have Lio Kaiser, try putting the limbs on Elita's torso mode. It looks really good.
Elita Kaiser.
Yeah, Kaiser Elite.
I don't like this.
I'm still working on the name.
Well, it's a work in progress. There will be a name update. Soundjack, you can go next because your stuff's cool.
Lido Kaiser.
Miguel does win this week.
Okay, so quick story. For the first bit of stuff, I was over at my girlfriend's for 4th of July, and we were talking about video game stuff, and we're like, oh, let's go check out this video game store, see if we can get some GameCube controllers for Switch later this year, for when Smash Bros. Ultimate comes out. Well, it wasn't real like this. Well, we were trying to find places that could have them, and this one place that's kind of like she had thought was more like a tabletop gaming card collecting kind of a place. Would not have it, but figured we'd try anyway, especially since it was the 4th of July and her town lost power because people were using too much power. We go, and while we're there, first thing we find is that they do sell video games. They didn't have any GameCube controllers, but in video games, they did have a copy of the Transformers PS2 game.
Oh, you mean the one with Tidal Wave?
Yeah, the one with Tidal Wave. I have not touched it because I do not own a PS2. Alyssa owns a PS2, but I do not. So I will be playing it when I am over her place. But then I was walking around because they had a lot of action figures. I was looking to see if they had any action figures of Transformers. They had a couple, and then I asked the owner of the shop if they did have any. He was like, oh, yeah, there's a huge box on that table right over there. And it was all G1 stuff, and I helped him identify some stuff so he didn't have to go online later. And I picked out a couple of things from the box to purchase for myself. The less exciting of the two, or the simpler of the two, I should say, is G1 Throttlebot Chase.
Oh, hey, he got a new toy recently.
Yeah, he did. I can compare. I can compare with him when I do a review. Eventually, he's very, very simple but neat.
He's cute. He's a cutie.
He's cute, but he's got big heels.
He does. I didn't realize that. That is wow.
Yeah, that's how like all the throttle bots and then run amok and runabout work. Pretty sure. It's a little weird, but he's G1. You can forgive it for G1. You can't forgive it if it's a modern day toy. You can forgive it only if it's a G1 toy. But the more exciting thing I got was G1 Punch Counterpunch, who is really neat. I will say personally, I do like the Counterpunch body a bit more. Color scheme, just how the shapes worked on it, just a bit better. Color layout's a bit nicer since there's not surprise yellow that comes out of nowhere when you just look at the vehicle mode.
I'd say Counterpunch has always been the cooler one out of the two.
Yeah, but for the toy, while he does not have a lot of standard articulation, he has two very unique form sustained articulation. Not necessarily unique, but very, very, very rare. Counterpunch features both sideways elbow action
Few was called.
as well as pelvic thrust action.
Oh man. He is articulated in all the weirdest ways.
Oh man, that's a lot of action,
Pelvic
man.
thrust, that really drives me insane. Let's do the time warp again, guys.
What else did you get this week?
Yeah. Well, actually, what I got, and that was last week. Well, this last week, but today, day we are recording this, I went to my local Walmart after working at Target, and I happened to find that they had Wave 3 Prime Masters. So that includes Megatronus, Quintus Prime, and Solus Prime.
Also
Or for
known as Octopunch, Bludgeon, and what's the last one?
Bomb
Oh, Bomb Burst, yeah. I was gonna say my
in
mind.
the reverse order. So Solus with Octopunch, Quintus with Bludgeon, and Megatronus with Bomb Burst.
Which is your favorite so far? Did you open all of them or no?
I've opened all of them. I have them all sitting on my shelf, and I have them all standing next to the other Prime Masters that are available currently. I've not decided. I think it's Octopunch. Unfortunately, it's not Megatronus. While the color scheme is pretty neat, it's kind of just a lot of gray with a couple of highlights and just a retool of the Liege Maximo weapon. Octopunch is Solus is the most different visually, with the tentacles coming out of the back and the giant helmet face, and is also female, so that's just bonus points in my book for more females on my Transformer shelf. But unfortunately, the weapon, when I try to flip it out, does have a tendency to pop out a lot easier than on the other ones. I'm not sure if that's just an issue with the one I happen to open, or if that's going to be a problem across Octopunches or Solus Primes. And Bludgeon's really neat, really G1 color accurate, but it's weird to me because I'm too used to now thinking that Bludgeon should have a bit of green on him.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm used to not totally G1 Bludgeon colors because he's evolved over the years to have green in his color scheme.
Yeah. So if I had to say, it'd probably be very close between Solus and Quintus.
Gotcha. Well, that's cool. Is that all you got?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is, in
Miguel.
fact, all I've got. That is for me. As
Yeah.
Eric mentioned, I get a couple of things that I will be sending to him, but he will talk about that once he gets them.
All the things he got me were mentioned as things that people got this week, but they aren't all things that just Soundjack got. One of the things I got, someone else got. It's interesting. But anyways, Miguel, who got the greatest thing ever, which I have ordered, but I don't have it yet. Miguel, what did you get this week?
Well, first off, before we talk about his gloriousness, I did receive in the mail my Battlecore Optimus that I ordered once we knew that the
Nova Prime kit was coming out. The
the Nova Prime kit was coming out. And that I'm surprised how much I like the head sculpt on that. I remember seeing it in stores and not thinking anything of it, and then having it in hand, I'm like, oh no, this head sculpt's amazing. Way better than the normal head sculpt on that Voyager Combiner Wars Prime. At least in my opinion.
I do like it a lot.
It's almost to the point where I'm kind of sad that he won't look like that once I get the kit.
You could always get a second one before the kit comes out.
I could, assuming I find one that's
You should not get the kit.
No, I want to get. Well, I mean, who knows at that point? But as of now, I want to get the kit. But yeah, Battle Core. Hopefully, I can find another one if I really do want a second one, or they just don't end up being stupid expensive, like I think they will end up being. Since
Or if that
people
rumor you heard ends up being true and we get a KO.
Oh yeah, no. If a KO actually comes out, I'll just get the KO and put the kit on that.
Yeah. So
All right, and then the thing I got in the mail today, His Gloriousness, Power of the Primes, Nemesis Prime. He is beautiful. It just it. I'm blown away. I part of me wasn't too sure how much I would enjoy him because I wasn't. The sculpt itself is so G1 Optimus that the head, at least in pictures, like the rendered like promotional shots, always looked off to me. I don't know if part of it was me being so used to it on the Combiner Wars Voyager toy because it's basically the head sculpt that Toxitron has.
yeah.
But having him in person, decking him out with the Armada Prime forearm guns and everything, he's just beautiful. Oh my gosh. The QC is pretty good on mine. One of Nemesis Pax's legs likes to fall off. But it seems to be staying for now. Giza's also really fun. A lot less flimsy than I figured it'd be. Pretty solid and a fun little fiddle former to just like quickly turn from bird to sword mode. It doesn't come with a prime like a bio card with one of the 12 prime powers, which is unfortunate.
And odd, considering because we talked about that before the show started, and we checked to see since this is the first Power of the Primes exclusive that's gotten released so far, correct?
Yes.
Yeah,
Because
Power.
the only one we've seen packaging shots of for Power of the Primes, because Blastoff doesn't count because that's part of a Prime Wars trilogy thing, and it's not. That one doesn't represent Power of the Primes. So the only other one we know of is that we've seen is Wreck-Gar, which when we checked the packaging shots, Wreck-Gar does come with a Power of the Primes bio card with like, a random Prime signal and bio on it. So it's kind of odd that Nemesis doesn't, especially considering there's a lot of space in that box. But
Part of me feels like because like almost like the only thing I could equate it to is the fact that the box is larger, so he's not as like he's a leader class figure, but he's sort of like a special case. So that might be like in the budget, the extra box size meant that they didn't print out a bunch of bio cards.
mm-hmm.
And I mean, like it doesn't really matter for unless like you're one of the people who's been collecting the cards. Like,
well, if you're one of the people who wants to collect one of all 12 cards, you get off the hook for this one. You don't have to track down 12 Nemesis Prime cards.
Maybe that's why they did it that way.
And that's definitely not why they did it that way, because they wouldn't have done that for every single other toy in the line. I mean, at that point, what's one more toy?
it'll be interesting to see whether or not the Takara Tomy release gets the card, because I'm assuming that the Takara Tomy versions have the bio cards.
I don't know if they do, but
That's a very good question.
Also, I have to say, if it's between a bigger box or a card, I'd rather have a card.
well, I mean, it's a bigger box to fit his accessories. Is why,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
because he has all the extra accessories that a normal leader does not.
That's fair.
Say, because he has the Matrix core, the Matrix like holder, the two guns that Prime came with. Then he also has a sword. He has an arms micron. He has 2 forearm guns. There you go. Also, transform quieter. I think that's Jared.
No, that's probably me.
Oh wow, transform quieter, Chris.
No. Yes, okay, sorry. So my computer just did like a weird thing. It just like straight up went to like a black screen in the middle of the call. Like it was still backlit, but it was like just
That's weird.
everything died. I had to restart. That was fun.
Anyway,
I said a bunch of dirty words.
glad we couldn't hear you. But anyways,
Kind of good.
the first item on our news this week is something that was very, very shocking to me. I don't know about you guys, but I I did not like. I mean, we heard about this rumors that this was coming. I think earlier in the week there was like a listing that there was going to be an Encore Unicron, but man, I didn't expect this green beauty of a Unicron to get released.
Wait,
There
what?
is 10 of these in existence right now, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so there were 10. It was a lucky draw variant, and it was green with clear plastic green and such added in. I mean, not added in. That's just what it is. I don't know why I said that, but it's an entirely green Unicron with also green clear plastic in parts and then solid green in other parts. Either way, it's an all green Unicron, and it's always just been one of those things that's like really cool. But there's 10 in the world, so if you still want to get one of those original 10, I kind of highly doubt that the prices are going to go down on those because those are, I want to say they're double-digit $1,000 was last I checked. I want to say 13,000 is a number I saw tossed around. I could not remember. Does anyone know what they were going for or no?
I have no clue. I don't even bother looking.
He's
I don't
so
want to know.
pretty.
But
Whoa, I didn't.
and
There's an all gold lucky draw first edition Optimus Prime from Prime. I didn't know that. But anyways, that's a distraction. Yes, this green Unicron. It's another version of the Unicron, which we're also getting another G1 painted version of this Unicron, aren't we?
Yeah, I
Are
saw pictures.
Yes,
Miguel.
we are.
Miguel, there
What?
is another one. How we are getting? Is this? There are 2 Unicrons from this mold coming out soon, right?
No. The most recent one that came out was the Platinum one, which was the Amazon exclusive retool, like with the more G1 accurate head sculpt. I think that one might be getting either a second run or there's pre-orders up. BBTS has pre-orders up for that one. That's what I was seeing a lot of pictures of people comparing the two because BBTS has the pre-orders for the Platinum one, and then for $70 more is this Encore release.
Huh. Yeah, it's $130 for the Unicron and Kranix, which I didn't realize it's just a reissue. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. But then Takara is, doing this Lucky Draw Green one, which, I don't think will diminish the price of the original, but I've just seen this in passing multiple times. I've never, ever, actually even thought about, wanting it just because the way it was introduced to me was like, oh yeah, that rare Unicron variant. I'm like, what do you mean? And then they're told there are 10 of these, and then saw a picture, and I was like, well, that's cool, but I can't even imagine having one. $200 is really expensive, but that's a really cool and weird thing that doesn't fit in anywhere that I would really want. So I mean,
I know
what were you gonna say? Sorry.
if I got it, which I'd really like to because of canon reasons, I know exactly where it'd go. He'd go on my Minicon shelf.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, that would.
Because the canon reason for this existing is because in the Armada cartoon, all of the Minicons just formed together and made a giant green light glowing Unicron to fight Unicron. I like my Minicons. This is just all the Minicons in a glowing form.
And I want it because I'll get that, and then I'll get the Platinum Unicron, and I'll take my original Armada, and then I'll have them all surround my Primus, and then he's just screwed from all sides.
All I know is that I really, really like this. I'm curious how well this will sell if we do get a Unicron next year. So if per se we did get a HasLab or a regular Titan class Unicron in 2019, chances are we would find out at least evidence. We wouldn't probably have official confirmation until Toy Fair if that was the case. Again, just totally if that was the case, which is February. But we normally find out or have at least art or rumors, solid rumors, not oh, there's going to be a Unicron. It's usually listings or pretty solid evidence before December, which this is supposed to be arriving in. So I'm curious if that happens, if people would still want this, or they'd be like, oh, they're totally different things, but I don't know. Or would people be more likely to buy this if they know we're not getting a new Unicron anytime soon? I don't know. I'm just curious, but I really actually want this for some reason.
Well, how many times has this mold been used?
4.
Yeah.
I want to say we had the original. There was the black version for Armada, Energon. Sorry, there was the platinum one, and then the Unicron of Light. And these are the ones I know of.
There was also one in 2010 that was also a completely different color scheme from the Platinum Edition.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
when you
cheap
go-
colors.
I can
Very
go off the
cheap.
top of my head with this. U.S. Armada, Micron Legend, Energon, Superlink was the same thing.
I'm just going to this page.
Universe, which was just a repackage of the Armada
Yeah.
one.
That's why I didn't count that.
The 2010 Takara release, the Amazon version, the Platinum version, and then this one. So that's 8.
And that's at least 8 production runs.
Oh, and the Lucky Draw Unicron of Light. So that's 9. Although that's 10.
I was say that is 10, and that's what this is based off of. But that still does count because that's the whole reason this one exists.
Although
so.
this one, quite honestly, has a better color scheme than the original one. The original one had a lot more opaque plastic,
Yeah.
whereas this one has a lot more translucent green and just like green where the other one had like gray bits, and this one actually looks a lot prettier. The
Agreed.
unfortunate thing is that it's like the 9th plus time that this mold has been run, which makes it really frightening when it's composed mostly of clear plastic.
I agree with that, but I also have to say, I kind of like that. This was Armada Unicron was my first big Transformer, so that mold has a lot of sentiment for me. So it's kind of nice to see that even 15 years later, it's still a popular enough mold that they're still making it.
I've never owned this mold. I've always
Really?
wanted to. I've always wanted to and come close to buying it. I just never have. So that's why I think, like, I hope there's a new Unicron that comes out soon that I can get as my G1 Unicron. But I want to get this mold, and I think this is my opportunity to do so because I like weird
Yeah.
things.
And I
don't-
want a
don't-
second. I need a second Unicron.
And I don't have a shelf that would fit on, so I'm going to put this on my shelf of Misfits, which is like my favorite thing ever. So
Yeah, I need
Mhm.
shelves.
Eric, what are you doing
Same.
buying this one? Just go straight for the lamp, buddy.
I mean, I would if I could, but that's not happening.
You should start buying scratch-off tickets, just like a couple, every time you get some money.
I don't want
You'd
to
be
start.
surprised.
I don't want to start an addiction. I don't want to start.
If you just buy like a couple dollar tickets,
That's
you know,
how it
Doris
starts,
is
man.
already addicted to a cartoon lobster.
Okay, fair. You know what? Actually, ignore what I just said. Tanner has a point.
Exactly. But anyways, our next
Crit.
bit of news is we have
Blair
official
Lobster.
photos of Beast Wars. Well, Masterpiece Beast Wars Megatron. There's been the official images released, which I think I might have. Oh, these are different high stock. These are either way. These are the stock images have been released, and wow, this toy just keeps looking better and better. He's brushing his teeth. He's brushing the teeth of the T-Rex head in the official images.
Yes.
I don't think I could be any better. God, this thing looks so
exactly
good.
in the
Yeah.
way it was presented in the cartoon, which had animation errors in it.
Yeah, which has half of his armor removed. This
Yes.
figure can do, yeah. So I'm really curious if this will be knocked off because we've been talking. So we talked about this before the show started about how there's KOs of basically every single Masterpiece figure except the Beast ones. Which was it? Soundjack or Miguel that said why?
Miguel.
Miguel, tell us
Yeah,
why.
I was just sort of parroting what I had seen
Miguel
online.
the all-knowing.
Which was just that because what is it? There was an announcement for a KO of Beast Wars Primal that, for all intents and purposes, seems to have been canceled. And one of the things that a lot of people were speculating, which kind of makes sense, is that the process that Takara uses to give the toys that textured like paint, like faux fur look or whatever, that both Primal and Cheetor have. Yeah, there's at least people speculating that might be a reason why they canceled the KOs because they can't necessarily replicate that, which, by all means, may very well one is one of the reasons why these things are so damn expensive, but also why they might be more difficult to knock off than some of the other masterpieces that come out. I don't necessarily know whether or not that really is the case, but it at the very least, if a KO doesn't come around sooner or later, the official one might be your only option.
Yeah. So my bet is that while we don't know that to be certain, that seems like honestly the best reason I've heard so far as to why there aren't Beast Wars KOs for the masterpieces. My bet is that if they're going to crack how to do that on a knockoff, Megatron's going to be the one, because whoever makes the KO of that is going to make a lot of money, because I know so many people that want that figure, but for $300 plus, 320, 330, depending on where you order it from, just almost everyone I know is just priced out.
That's
So
ridiculous.
including myself, if there is a KO that goes up, I will buy it in a heartbeat. And I don't like that. Like, I wish that wasn't the case, but like, I can't spend over $300 on it, even if it looks like it looks like it could even be worth it. But I just literally cannot afford that. So.
But now, Eric, ask yourself this simple question: what if it was Masterpiece Bisque?
I mean, for Masterpiece Bisque, I would do it, but it's different.
I mean, for me, if I had the money, I would definitely pay for that. It's just I do not have the money for that, but I would really want it.
Same. That's like the thing for me is like if I had that kind of money, or even like if that was still a stretch, but like remotely possible for me, I would still do it. But I don't know.
I'll be honest, it's monetarily possible for me, and even I'm just kind of like, $300 is still too much for a Transformer for me. Like, I can't justify that to myself, let alone to my wife.
But yeah. So my guess is hopefully this will be the one that they crack it for. I hate saying hopefully because like I don't like it when things get knocked off, but this is the scenario I've been put in. So,
but it's how the fandom market works. It's just a thing, and we're never going to escape from it.
Yeah. Well, until more KOs are bought and then official, and then we're going to see officials declining and then downward spiral. Because it is like a parasite. Like, KO can only survive as long as official survives, because once official dies because of KOs, which I don't think we're anywhere near. I'm just saying that it is a thing. It is a paradox that eventually it will kill itself. But
but if that ever were to happen, then we still have third party hanging around.
This is true. But
they're
anyway,
pretty cool dudes.
Speaking of things that hopefully are affordable. Actually, no, definitely are affordable. Not necessarily super cheap, but affordable. We have our next news item, which is official, not a KO. It is more G1 reissues, which is awesome, coming from Walmart. And you know what's so awesome about this? We have Autobot mini vehicles, which are cool. There's a case of 8 for those. There's 3 Bumblebee, 1 Outback, 2 Swerve, 2 Tailgates, which is awesome if you want any of those. Also, Starscream, which is pretty cool if you do not have that mold. I don't need that, but the thing I am excited for, the one I'm actually going to get, because I appreciate G1 toys, but I don't need to go out and buy reissues. The one I am going to buy is Devastator that they're doing.
Yes.
So we have prices right now. Starscream is priced at $41.90. Oh, this is at Robot Kingdom, so this could be more expensive or a little. I don't know how the pricing usually compares to official, but $41.90 for Starscream right there. Well, there right now. $89.90 for Devastator, and then $76.90 for a case of 8 of the mini vehicles, which is $10 a piece. So, yeah, Hot Rod apparently did start something new with more G1 reissues coming out. So this could be a Walmart exclusive line that we see, continuing
So are
on
those-
from
Are those
this.
going to be in stores or?
Yeah, that's the
That's
Supposedly.
yeah. Supposedly, I mean, good luck finding them. It's just me that the Walmarts near me never stock their exclusives, no matter what the toy line is.
Nope.
Like, not just Transformers, they don't even stock their own Marvel Legends exclusive, anything, and it bothers me so much because usually I want their exclusives.
Eric, do we have an ETA on the store dates for these?
This month.
Yeah, they say July
According
for
to
Robot
Kingdom,
Kingdom,
it
so,
says July.
which would indicate that they're shipping them to stores in July. So my guess
Oh, we
would be August, September for when we actually start seeing them in store.
Because I
somewhat
want
frequently.
the Starscream now, and I really want the Devastator.
Mhm.
Same.
I want everything except Outback because I already have a G1 Outback.
Well, no, but Soundcheck, you need two of them to start up the Outback Bisque House.
Well, I'll have
Outback
the
and
G1 one,
Outback.
and I'll have the Power of the Primes one.
Exactly. there
Yeah,
is the
but
power
you
of
see,
Primal.
you need a Subaru Outback towing a Subaru Outback parked in front of the Outback Steakhouse.
No, to make this joke work, you also need a figurine of Subaru from Nanoha.
I don't know that
And
reference.
nobody gets that reference. Why do I make these jokes?
Fun fact: I own a Subaru Outback. But anyways,
What?
Yeah, that's one of the cars my family has. But anyways,
You're
next
here
we have-
first,
ooh.
folks.
nice. Okay, so this is exciting news. Even though it's not any actual news. It's news about getting news. But next news item is the official press release for the Hasbro Transformers panel for Generations War for Cybertron B and more at San Diego Comic-Con 2018, which is at 11 a.m. on Thursday, July 19th. That is 11 a.m. The Pacific time, right? It's on the
I would assume.
west.
That's what my tickets say.
West Coast. I was just struggling there for a second. West Coast. So that puts it at, I believe, is it 2? That's 2 o'clock. That's 2 o'clock in the afternoon for people on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 o'clock on the East Coast on Thursday, July 19th is when we are going to be having the actual panel. Now, you know what this means? This means that there's probably going to be some reveals the night before, or even maybe 2 nights before. It's usually either the day or 2 days beforehand. Hasbro will have a little like special reveal party of their own, like that's technically separate from San Diego Comic-Con, where they'll reveal a few things. Or it'll get spoiled by a breakfast, sort of like Power of the Primes was, but which they revealed almost all the Power of the Primes lineup at a breakfast for San Diego Comic-Con before the panel. I think there was only like one thing they revealed at the panel that wasn't out displayed at the breakfast. So, I mean, chances are we'll be getting a couple reveals for the toy line before that exact time. But either way, you know that this is at the very latest. This is at the very latest the time that we will get to this. So that is Generations War for Cybertron trilogy. The first part will be revealed. Also, some Cyberverse stuff, both for the show and the toy line, should be revealed. And I'm curious if I'm not curious. We are definitely going to get some Studio Series reveals, not just for Bumblebee, I bet, because we are already getting Wave 2 in hand, so I feel like San Diego Comic-Con's gonna reveal the Bumblebee wave and a little bit more. I don't think you can reveal just one more wave. You gotta do at least like 1.5 or 2, maybe more.
I'll make sure to get pictures.
So we'll see. But anyways, definitely stay tuned for all of that, because we'll probably do something special on the day it's actually revealed, because that won't be on the actual show date. It'll probably be like probably a day or two after that it gets revealed, since we record Mondays, and they usually reveal it like the night before. So Wednesday, Thursday, you can maybe expect something from us, because That's worth talking about. San Diego Comic-Con news. It's justifiable to do a special thing. So
Yep, and I'm off that day, so yay.
yeah.
I'm gonna be there.
Unfortunately,
worry about
we're
missing
a half hour before the panel starts, so
Also, stay tuned. Keep your eyes out for possibly a Radio Free Cybertron live stream because I was on that last year. So I'm maybe I'll be on one again if they do one this year. There's a high chance I could be on that. So keep your eyes peeled if you want live news there, and we'll have something after. So definitely.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Would this be the panel that if Hasbro decides to drop a special convention exclusive like they did for RC and Grotesque, would this be the panel that they would do it at?
Yes. This is the Generations panel. So if that happens, we do not know if that will happen, but if that happens,
Yes.
that is when it will happen. So
keep
yes, no matter
refreshing Hasbro shop during that panel.
exactly. I was gonna say no matter what, even if we have all the figures released before, like photos of the figures released beforehand, that's a very good point, Soundjack, is to keep your eyes peeled on Hasbro Toy Shop because we don't know something's coming, but if it does, that is exactly the hour time frame that it would go up during or right beforehand, like Grotesque. So
I'm gonna be staying on Hasbro Toy Shop all throughout July 19th.
10 days, man. Oh, I'm
Would
excited.
Yeah.
All right.
I won't be able to since I'll be on the ground there.
So I'm going to actually skip. Let's reorganize the show notes a bit. I'm going to skip to a article I had for later as the next news item. Let's see, and it is the possible accidental reveal, or maybe it was a tease on purpose. We don't know, but either way, the Transformers Instagram has their story had a post of, I believe it was John Warden, promoting Hasbro being at San Diego Comic-Con, and he was standing by what was some kind of a sign or poster for the first chapter of the War for Cybertron trilogy. All we know that is part of that title are the letters GE, because under that is Cybertron trilogy. And Transformers is above that. I'm kind of curious what the artwork's of. It looks like there's a dead Transformer body just there. I don't know. But either way, it's GE, so you could speculate whether that's Siege of / on Cybertron. I think you guys were tossing around Golden Age, right?
Yeah.
Golden Age. It could just be Age of Cybertron or Golden Age. I don't know. My guess.
The reason, so I liked what Miguel had suggested, like the full title proper would be Transformers Golden Age War for Cybertron trilogy, since this trilogy of toy lines has the actual branding of the trilogy from the start, as opposed to what it seemed like for Combiner Wars Titans Return and Power of the Primes, that Prime Wars trilogy kind of like came later, it felt like.
Yeah, they didn't know it was going to be a trilogy when they started Combiner Wars. They've outright stated that. Like, that's not even speculation.
I was positive, but the branding came later for that. So in terms of branding, may do more like Transformers, Golden Age, War for Cybertron trilogy, just for the full branding. And while that would be neat, especially if one of the eras is Exodus, I'm trying to think of what the era, the 5 epics were in the IDW comics, or like what the chapter names were in the Covenant of Primus, because those would probably be very interesting.
Yeah, time eras.
Good descriptors for 3 toy lines that are set on Cybertron, and it would make sense and probably could indicate certain figures being released at certain times and whatnot. But looking at the spacing on the poster, I would be surprised if the entire word Golden Age was fitting in the gap, if we're assuming that War for Cybertron is all underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Could it be first stage?
That is such a. There's no way it'd be called First Stage. Why would you? Why would you name the first chapter of a trilogy First Stage? Although something with stage could be in it. Like, that's what I'm trying to think of, is just words that end with GE. I really think if I had to guess, like bet money right now, I would guess siege would be the word. I don't know if it's siege of Cybertron, siege on
Yeah.
Cybertron, but I'm guessing that the main word is siege. There's age is a
Beige.
reasonable possibility. There's also rage. There's stage. I don't know how you'd fit that in though. But clearly, you guys are all wrong. It is definitely beige,
Beige.
of Cybertron. It's beige.
Yeah.
Every figure in the line for this chapter will be beige. So
Dude, this is a revolution.
Beige Optimus, beige Bumblebee, beige Starscream,
yep.
No, it should be the. It's gonna be this.
beige Seekers, beige Seekers. You can't tell which Seeker is which, but they're
The only
That's
figure
awesome.
that isn't beige is Outback. He's green.
you still get three. You still get three Seekers. Just they're all beige.
They're literally the same figure with just different names on the box.
I think we just found our episode title. Those who are listening already know that's the episode title, but that is 100% the episode title is Beige of Cybertron.
And you know what? People would probably still buy them.
Well, okay,
I hate
dude,
myself,
you gotta.
but I would.
This is why beige makes sense because you gotta have the beige age.
What were you about to say, Eric?
I said I hate myself for it, but I would probably buy several figures from a line of Transformers. Main line,
No, I just
even
mean
if they
like
were all
the beige Seekers that are the same toy in the box with a different name. People
Yep.
would still buy those.
They'd be like, there's small variants. The screws are different colors on the different ones.
This
The
one
one's
is
got black
slightly
screws, one's
more
got purple.
Wow,
brown.
I was just gonna say, who
No,
who
you
here
can tell
considered
because
buying
they're
a figure
different
because it had
shades of beige.
who here decided to who almost thought about well they didn't almost they actually thought about buying a very expensive figure just because it had different colored screws. I'm just trying to think who here would do that. I don't I don't
Could
know.
it be Jared?
No, I don't think Jared.
No,
Soundtrack?
it's
not
one of them that
Soundtrack.
starts with an M, but it's not Michael.
No. Miguel, you wouldn't have ever have done that, would you? He's
Wait, he did?
I
He's
guess
avoiding-
he wouldn't.
he's avoiding the question. We embarrassed Miguel. If you aren't aware, I think he may have stated on the show, he definitely considered buying a Triptychon just because the Takara version had black screws. So he has stated that at one point. So there you have it.
Miguel,
Miguel.
don't feel bad. I bought 2 Human Alliance Roadbusters because they had different flame missiles. One was clear yellow and one was opaque yellow.
But those aren't Titan class figures. Anyways.
That is true. They are not Titan class, and I found the second one at a Marshall's for like $10. So
But that definitely proves the point that there are people out there who would do it. Even though Miguel didn't. He just came very close. But yeah, next bit of news is super, super awesome. This has been getting me really excited.
Yes.
This is the news about Cyberverse, which I gotta admit, I'm getting really, really excited for. I haven't been this excited for a show in years since a show launched. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. This show has been hitting all the right spots for me in the news we've been getting for it. Because we now have artwork of all the main characters, well, all the main characters that we know of, and bios and such. I gotta say, I am a fan of the fact that Grimlock is basically Bruce Banner / the Hulk now. The way they described his bio is that he's super smart in robot mode, but he rewires himself for Dynamo to give himself more power, and therefore loses his brain power. So I think that's an interesting take on Grimlock. I'm surprised it hasn't
does
been
that
done
mean
yet.
we're gonna get Grimlock in his robot mode more?
I don't know. He's picturing in robot
Because
mode
I
and
hope
stuff.
that's what happens. Because I swear, in almost everything Grimlock's in is just, we got him in we got to have him in Dino mode like 85% of the time because it's a robot dinosaur, which is cool. It's great, but he has a robot mode, and it's also pretty cool.
I don't need him to be the
You
super
wouldn't
smart
like it when it's
Autobot
being-
because we have Wheeljack. And Wheeljack
and
is rocking that facial hair in this art.
Oh yeah.
He looks so good. Soundjack, do you approve?
I approve.
It looks
I will
so good.
appreciate if in the cartoon he pulls out his face mask, but I do approve.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point he just like on RID, all of them would use face masks occasionally, like just cover up the mouth. I wouldn't be surprised if on this show that happens occasionally. Ratchet also looks good. I'm really liking Hot Rod. I'm surprised by how much I like Hot Rod.
Yeah.
Prowl.
Hot Rod looks a lot more different than I thought he was.
He looks kind of like Lost Light inspired. Is it just me? The
Yeah,
like the
I can see
proportions
it.
of his chest and like torso and stuff just looks. Yeah, I like it a lot though. Prowl, Blur, who's very undeniably that is just that they took IDW Blur and made him a cartoon character.
I mean, Prowl, they just took the 2008 Universe toy.
Yeah, but I mean that is essentially G1 Prowl, but like
Also, the question is it G1 Prowl or 2008 Universe Prowl? It depends upon how the legs transform.
well, I just mean the 2008 Prowl is G1 Prowl. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But the feet, how the legs and the feet do differ.
yeah. I mean the design is, but I mean I overall the character is still the same though. Whereas this interpretation of Blur is not. This doesn't look. I mean, it does kind of look like G1 Blur, but that's very much, I think, at least, IDW Blur inspired. I don't know.
Have we mentioned Wheeljack yet? I wasn't paying
Yes.
attention.
Wow.
missed it.
Yeah, I was gonna say you clearly weren't paying attention.
He's great.
Oh, but the interesting thing,
Yeah.
looking at the Decepticons and such, the first thing is that there are Seekers. The interesting thing about the Seekers is that Starscream looks similar to them, but his body type is completely different. Whereas Thundercracker, Slipstream, although Slipstream has a different head, whereas the third Seeker, Acid Storm, has the same head as Thundercracker. They all are differently. They're all colored differently, but they all share a body type, with the exception of Slipstream's head. And yes, you heard me correctly. Acid Storm, not Skywarp, which is odd. I hope they make a Skywarp at some point, but I'm so happy to see Acid Storm getting some love. That's cool. How do you-
I mean,
Why they call me Acid Storm? Because I can make an Acid Storm.
I know what you're referencing. It's
Absurdly
beautiful.
awesome. He's very underrated.
Yes.
It's not cute. It's adorable.
I find it
Yeah.
very interesting that we're getting Slipstream and Acid Storm. And then, I mean, obviously,
Slipstream.
Starscream and Thundercracker, that's not a surprise. But yeah, Slipstream and Acid Storm, but no Skywarp to be seen. I just find that interesting. Not a bad thing, but...
I mean, Acid Storm being a character in a show is very surprising. Though granted, Hasbro has really seemed to like Acid Storm as the fourth option for using a Seeker mold a lot.
Agreed. I just find it weird that he got priority over Skywarp. It's just that
No, I
was just a
agree.
shocker when I saw that.
I completely agree too, but I'm still like, if you think about it though, there are still a lot of Acid Storm toys.
No, you're totally right. I also find it interesting that Slipstream is not the one with a different Seeker body, because Starscream's is still clearly Seeker, but Starscream has the different Seeker body, not Slipstream. Slipstream shares it. If I had to guess before I'd seen pictures on, who would be the one to have the different body, it would be Slipstream. But no, she actually shares the body with them, and Starscream gets a different body, which I gotta say, I actually really like it that way. But
Though, can I say, I do like the Thundercracker Acid Storm body more than the body Starscream does have.
you like theirs
That's
better?
Air Commander Starscream
I
to you.
just think Starscream's wings are too big.
I can see what you're saying. I don't know. I like Starscream's better as Starscream, and I like the other Seekers better as themselves. Like, I'm glad they made them different, but they're still both clearly Seekers. I don't know.
I do agree with that. I do very much agree with that.
Yeah.
But if the Seeker mold toy is really good, that there may be a new Seeker gate on our hands.
This is true.
And if that's the case, I would totally just get like Thundercracker or someone and repaint it as Starscream. Not gonna lie, just use that as G1 for my G1 shelf.
Who's the new female Decepticon? I forget.
Shadow Strike.
Shadow Striker, which I can't tell what she transforms into in this. It's rumored that she's a spider, but those are very much looking like headlights on her chest. So
She's a car. She's just got a spider-esque head.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. So.
Black Arachnia.
Also, I've seen people commenting that, like, in terms of her bio and her personality, it's very similar to who was it? Who was the BotCon 1993? Was it original character by people? Do you know who I'm talking about? The one created by Raksha.
Miguel,
is
we need
everyone-
you.
Night Racer. It was for BotCon 1995. Night Racer.
Oh, you just thought, okay, Night Racer. That's interesting. Although I do agree with Miguel, which I've seen several places online. He typed in the chat that she's animated Blitzwing and Lugnut's love child. Which, if you look at her, she really is. Look at her. She's a straight up combo of the two. She is definitely their daughter. Let's make it canon.
Yes.
But I don't know. I like her eye. I like that I'm curious to find out on the show if, like, she's just kind of deformed, or if, like, she lost that eye, or chances are we'll never find out which.
Nobody messes with Shockwave's girlfriend.
So, I don't know. She's not.
Yeah, nobody messes with
has
me.
time for a girlfriend. He's in love with Logic.
Yeah, I was going to say.
He's
Speaking of Shockwave, his toy looks awesome and has been popping up some places, but everyone's been saying, why does he have a second eye? I don't know. I've never thought of that. I don't think that's a second eye. I'm pretty sure that's just like a flashlight or like something he can use. Like, I don't think he has two eyes.
I completely. I mean, I agree that, like, that's just like detail on his body.
Yeah.
But when you look at it too closely, it's just a tiny head on top of Shockwave's head.
Why did they need to put that yellow dot inside? Like, they could have just left it as a black, like, a vent. But they had to put that yellow dot, make everyone go nuts on the internet about Shockwave's. Look at Shockwave's little eye and his weird mouth. It's like, no, that's not. No, just stop. He has a lot of pink too.
You just can't unsee it now, though.
He's a lot.
That's
of
the thing I do dislike about
agree.
that you can't unsee.
He has a lot of pink, and it looks really good. Like, pink accents, he has a lot more than, like, literally any other version of Shockwave, which it's pretty typical for him to have some, but I think this is the most he's ever had. I think he's rocking it. I don't know about you guys, but I like pink Shockwave.
He's rocking it. To me, just compared to some of the others, especially like the Seeker group, it feels, and Megatron especially, it feels a little busy just compared to his compatriots.
So looking at the rest, the only thing is Megatron is just Megatron. There's literally, I think, nothing to talk about with him. You know who I do want to mention? Oh wait, do you like what about Megatron stood out to you? Is there anything or no? Or were you saying blah or aw?
Yeah, I'm just like yeah.
He's just
like it's
not bad.
Actually, that pose to me feels. Honestly, the pose feels very blah because you can't see his fusion cannon, so he looks very generic.
I know, it's just like, that's a very generic Megatron. Not bad, it's just a very generic Megatron.
Yeah.
But you know who is not generic?
Quick note, because...
Yeah, what did you say? You're fine.
Quick note, because I was looking at Megatron's in this, reminding me of this. If you notice, all of these Transformers only have 4 fingers.
Yep, I did notice that. I'm not surprised.
That's a common theme in cartoons. So.
I looked at these for a while, and then only after a while I realized, 4 fingers. It's nothing dramatic, drastic. I'm just like, oh, that's interesting.
You know whose design isn't just like blah? Like, it's not like, not that Megatron is bad, but like whose design stands out is freaking amazing.
Soundwave Superior.
Yep, I was just gonna say, Soundjack. Your 2 favorite characters sure got a lot of love with these designs, in my opinion, at least. Because Wheeljack is freaking rocking it, and then Soundjack is. Soundwave.
Soundjack. I'm a character in a Transformers cartoon. My dream come true.
Wait, does that also mean I'm technically a character?
No, you're not. Okay,
no.
Well, I don't know. We haven't proved the conspiracy theory correct or incorrect yet, so we don't know if you two are the same person.
So it's Schrodinger's character.
I guess. But man, this Soundwave looks so awesome. Everyone's like
Yeah.
the head crest ear/ear vent things look weird. I think they look awesome. Some people think they look like bat ears. I think they look amazing like this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
I'm
it
not
is
going to lie.
different, but what?
Not going to lie. I do think they are a little big.
So I think they are a little big, but I think it works. But I won't argue on the fact that like they could be smaller, but I think that just with the overall styling of him, I think that it works. God, I love this design. It's so good. It's so good. It's like animated and Robots in Disguise 2015. Well, his body from Robots in Disguise, not the Prime version, but specifically Robots in Disguise and animated morphed together is how I see it, at least.
Along with G1.
Well, I mean, I think that it takes all the... Because both of those are inspired by G1 in their own way. I think that, in all honesty, it's like more of a combo of the two than anything that's like... There's nothing in those two designs that I can find that aren't... There's nothing in this design that I can find from the G1 Soundwave that I can't find in either of those two. At least to me.
No, fair.
But I don't know. I don't know.
That does exist. Because, like, he does have several new bits, but we already knew about that, like the radar dish on his left shoulder. And
never
then,
mind.
like, his...
Totally take it back. The face, obviously. So no, you're right. Definitely G1 Soundwave. I mean, both of those are G1 Soundwave inspired, but
I say that in the chest because the chest is fairly different on both animated and RID, even though they are both inspired on that. They're not. This Soundwave chest is much more straight up pulled off the G1 chest.
Mm-hmm. So they'll have G1 cues, but man, this one just so good.
So I will say,
as a Soundwave
Soundwave
Wheeljack connoisseur, I love them both.
What were you going to say, Soundjack?
One more thing, and then I'm done talking about these characters because I have a lot of thoughts about them. This design is also very busy, like the Soundwave design. I mean, the Shockwave design. Yeah, Shockwave. But I also, but don't get me wrong, that doesn't make it bad. I'm just like, compared to some of the other characters, some of the other Decepticons especially, it's very busy. But I mean, a lot of those details are really cool details.
And then there's Bumblebee and Optimus, but we've seen these designs several times before. They aren't new whatsoever. So I mean,
and
they look good.
Don't forget Windblade.
Oh yeah, and Windblade. But again, we have seen Windblade before.
Have heels.
Wait, she doesn't have heels?
If you go up to the top, like there's the spread image, and you got Bumblebee, Prime, and Windblade. If you look at her feet, she's not got any heels.
Whoa, we might get a Windblade toy that doesn't have heels. Oh wait, we already got one in Titan's Return, didn't we? I think she doesn't have heels, does she?
No, she doesn't have heels.
That's
like,
right.
She's got heels, but not like.
Yeah, she did high heels. Yeah, high heels. I was gonna say she doesn't have high heels. That's what every Windblade toy has had until then. But yeah, and then as I mentioned, our next news item is just that Cyberverse toys are actually popping up, and man, this is just I don't know what about it, but I am so freaking psyched for these. Like this toy line, seeing the character art and the bios, which by the way we didn't link the bios, but the bios are all from the perspective of Bumblebee, and Bumblebee's for himself is a dead meme, and it's part of me just finds that hilarious. It's almost like you're trying too hard, but it's so funny that I'll allow it. How do you feel about it?
I showed these designs to Melissa, and like we both agreed, like since it used that meme, we found another meme to use to describe how the people that were making the cartoon were feeling when they were attempting that meme, and it's the "What up, fellow kids" meme.
Yeah, the fellow kids when he's an older man. So if you're not younger and you don't know what these memes are, hit us up on Twitter, and we will tweet the memes at you that we are referring to. Because I am aware that we have several people that will not know what they are. And so I was going to say, if you need the context, let us know, because we can supply. But these Cyberverse toys, it's the One-Steps, it's the Legions, and the Warriors. I don't think I've seen anything else. The Scout, Scout, they're not Legion. They're Scout, Warrior, and One-Step. And I gotta admit, Starscream, I looks like he doesn't have knee joints, so I don't really need him. Bumblebee and Optimus I haven't seen anything of yet, so I don't know if I'm going to get them yet. They both look just eh. But Shockwave, man, can't wait for that Shockwave. That Warrior Shockwave is getting bought the second I see it.
Same.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
That's the one that everyone's going to want, I am certain.
Yep, although he
Yeah.
So he's
doesn't
probably
have...
going to list again.
It sounds like
Fine.
he's perfect, except he doesn't have head articulation. So...
Which because then you can't truly recreate the all are dead image.
I know, that's just what everyone wants to do with every single Shockwave figure. But...
Absolutely.
Yeah, so... I don't know. I'm very excited. This is in Australia, though, that these are being cited. I forgot to mention that. So
They were also in the UK.
and the UK. Oh yeah, actually, I know some people on Twitter in the UK that have already gotten some, and I'm very jealous. So
We need to get depth charge back and on this now.
To not make this insulting, it's just that Q has not had a track record for putting out videos of things that are current. And he put out a review of Shockwave the weekend he found it.
so
I think that's fine to say because one of his catchphrases for a show for the end credits is 2 ways late since 2008. So
yeah. So if he liked it enough to go make a review of it in a timely fashion, I feel like that's saying good things about the toy.
Yep. And if you look at the image that we have on, that I have up on from TF Formers, the figures behind that Bumblebee, it's Shockwave.
Oh yeah, that was just say it's not just the Bumblebee. We know
Yeah.
that the entire first wave. The first wave is for the Warriors. That's why I mentioned Starscream, Optimus, Bumblebee, and Shockwave. It's those four.
Yeah, but
are the
they're-
first wave.
Yeah, but from the looks of it, every single last figure behind that Bumblebee, they're all Shockwaves.
Oh wait, that's what you're saying is that in the picture that we have is that every single one is a Shockwave.
Yeah, behind that Bumblebee.
Let me see.
Shockwave.
Check
No,
this
just
oh
give
yeah,
me myself.
everywhere.
or there could
Give
be
me
a
my-
Starscream because it is Decepticon symbol and you can only see so well. But I don't know. I think the one behind him is a Starscream because the head shape looks kind of different. I don't know.
I can see the little, like, I don't know.
The one right behind the one behind Bumblebee is definitely a Shockwave, but I think the one behind that is a Starscream. Yep, because you can see his wing
Yeah.
up in the top corner.
Yeah, I know. I'm
And then
seeing
there's
it now.
another
Yeah,
Starscream.
definitely.
So they're not all Shockwaves, but Shockwave and Starscream, it's even set. There's 2 Decepticons, 2 Autobots in the first wave. And then last bit of news is... I totally forget. Oh, not that important, but there's the Hall of Fame, Transformers Hall of Fame for 2018 voting. Go vote now. It ends the 15th. So as of this recording, you have 6 days, but you have until Sunday after this episode airs
Sunday.
to put in your votes, which the contenders for favorite Transformers character are hashtag. You have to go vote, I believe, on Facebook with
It is
hashtag.
Facebook only, it
Yeah.
seems.
So hashtag Black Arachnia, hashtag Unicron, or hashtag Omega Supreme. Those are the 3 characters that were nominated. And then Toy of the Year is hashtag ST Blackout, so Studio Series Blackout, Power of the Primes, Leader Class Optimus Prime, and Power of the Primes Battle Trap, which is weird because that isn't a single toy, so really couldn't get nominated, but the team wants it to get nominated, so that's why it is.
Supreme.
I really hope that Battle Trap wins, because I love Optimus Prime and I love Blackout, but Battle Trap deserves it. I think, in my eyes, that's a big accomplishment.
Sorry.
Wait, what'd you say?
Then maybe we'll get the other duo
I was
cons.
gonna say vote for Battle Trap. Maybe we'll get the other Duocons. Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, the reason that it's not that important is because Bisque didn't make it this year. I know, but don't worry. Next year, full force. I hope Unicron wins the character this year, and I hope Battle Trap wins the toy this year. That's my votes. But I hope
Hashtag Black Arachnia. Hashtag Battle Trap.
Bisque Bisque will be on the ballot next year. I promise all of you. It's going to happen before I die. So maybe not next year, but we're going to try hard next year. We were only testing the waters this year. Say next year is when it's going to be full-on Bisque campaigning. So
I
Make your
mean,
crap good.
what were you
I
saying, Simon?
mean, Bisque did make Bisque did get to Hasbro at the very least, thanks to the TFU.info vote.
Yeah, I was gonna say he didn't make. I was gonna say he made semifinals for T-formers. Like he was one of the. They had also there's Bisque, Nemesis Prime, Jetfire. I think it was 6 characters. So those 3 plus the 3 that are actually nominated were all on their list, I believe. So Bisque made it onto their list. It just didn't make it into the top 3.
Oh, you're talking T-formers.
Yeah.
I was talking Anthony.
I was gonna say, yeah, no, I know. I'm saying he made it on TFUs, but he also did make it onto one of the ballots for T-formers. He just didn't win the ballot for T-formers. But no, you are correct. Bisque did make it to Hasbro, so Hasbro is aware of the fact that at least one place did give a nomination for Bisque. So next year there'll be.
It didn't go quietly into the night.
No, he was heard. Next year, not only will he be heard, he will be voted for. So, we have that. Jared.
Make the Hall of Fame great again.
I don't think that's going to be our catchphrase. I'm not going to use that campaign slogan for Bisque.
Yeah. I immediately rejected that as soon as I said it.
He is not Sentinel Prime. But anyways.
No.
The campaign phrase, this is going to be on t-shirts, buttons, everything. You're voting for a lobster.
I feel like that could go well. But anyways, Jared, are you ready for your thing?
Yes, I am.
What is our pre-order for the week?
The pre-order for this week, you probably already know. It's Masterpiece Beast Wars Megatron.
Yep, MP43. How much is it?
$320.
At Big Bad Toy Store.
Only
depends where you get it.
Yep. Only pocket change, but you know.
Yeah, really. And God, it looks so good in all of the pictures. It just looks so amazing, but so much
that price
money.
Point does not.
It's so much money.
So much money that a lot of us do not have.
Yep. But man, it looks good. In January 2019 is the estimated release date as of now, and I don't know.
Birthday gift anybody for me?
I have a lot of thinking to do. Because, gosh, it just looks so good. Chris, are you ready for your segment?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm kind of dazing. Oh, really? It was Michiru? Oh.
Yep.
This question comes from my wife, Michiru. What got you into collecting?
Okay, so we'll each go. Try to keep it somewhat quick, because I know you can probably elaborate long stories.
For me, it was my brother. He started. I don't know. A while ago, a long time ago, when I was still a young thing, and
You still are a young thing, just so you know.
I meant like a toddler, but so I would play with his toys, and I liked them, and so I started asking for some. My parents tried to get me into the girl stuff, but I didn't like that. I like telling the story sometimes. I had one Barbie, and I ended up ripping her head off.
Nice.
Decapitation.
I had one of my Transformers actually. No, it was one of my big Bionicles bit her head off, so I took the head off, and then so it was my brother really that got me into Transformers.
Nice. For me, it was actually kind of funny. So Clone Wars is what got me into collecting toys, period. I liked that as a kid. That show, I love that show, and that is what got me to buy any toys. Okay, so my parents would buy me toys, but those are the first toys that I went out and wanted to get was because of the Clone Wars. I would go out and buy Star Wars toys. Transformers at a lot of the stores at that time near me were right by Star Wars. And so I would buy Star Wars figures for $8, and I would buy deluxe Transformers for $10 that were right next to them. And that is just how I continued down this downward spiral into collector's addiction and problem. But no, I'm kidding. It's not an actual problem. It's just a lot more intense than it used to be. But yeah, so that's what got me in it.
They were $10.
Let's say it's Star Wars. It's Star Wars that really got me into Transformers because they just happen to be next to each other. Also, I mean, animated also played a part into it because of me getting that. I remember liking Transformers because of seeing McDonald's toys for animated, which I still have several of those. But yeah, Tanner, what got you into collecting?
Okay, well, it all started way back in the days of Power Rangers Samurai, which I didn't really even watch for the Power Rangers. I watched it for the Megazord, and well, and even before that, I really liked giant monster movies growing up. So Godzilla, Ultraman, Gamera, basically any sort of giant monster movies. And then I saw Power Rangers, and then I'm like, okay, this is kind of boring. But then the Zords showed up, and they fought giant monsters. So that's what got me into giant monsters and giant robots. And then I thought I saw Transformers, and I'm like, sweet, they turn into things instead of just combining. And then I got Universe 2.0 Galvatron, and then I'm like, man, this kind of isn't that great. But then I realized there were better figures, and that is how I got into. And then I started getting into the story, and I really like it. And that is how I started the diagonal spiral.
The long downward spiral.
But I do remember the figure that got me into collecting. I saw a review of it was an early G1 reissue of Galvatron, and I just thought he was the coolest, the G1 Galvatron, and I just thought it was the coolest thing. I don't know why, but I was obsessed with Galvatron.
Because you were traumatized by that terrible toy, and so it was stuck.
Well, yeah, no, and then I'm like, wait, there's a good Galvatron? What?
But Jared, what is your tale?
Really the thing. The thing that got me into collecting collecting as a whole is YouTube actually. I was like going on YouTube one day, and I discovered a person who does reviews of Transformers, and at the time,
was it Optibotimus?
No.
Darn.
At that point, I already had like a good amount of Transformers, but I didn't really like buy them to collect them per se. And that particular YouTuber is Emgo. I saw his bunch of his reviews whenever he was like doing Transformers Prime stuff, and I'm like dang. And I saw a bunch of his third-party reviews, and I'm like, oh my god, that stuff exists.
Yeah.
And then I looked them up on Google, and I'm like, oh my god, that stuff exists. Oh my god, those prices.
Yeah, I'd have to like edit my story a bit. I said how I started buying the figures. I wouldn't say so. I was buying those figures like with my own allowance, stuff like that. But I wouldn't call myself a collector until Prime hit, and I started watching YouTube videos a lot. Emgo being one of them. Also Optibotimus at the time. Do not totally care for him so much now, but.
Yeah, back when Optibotimus was good, back when he took a Legends Starscream and boiled it, smashed it with a hammer.
Just stop. Anyways,
that was a great review, that right?
But Optibotimus, Emgo, several Piog also is in there. Also Mitch Santona, which I swear that guy just disappeared. Yeah. But anyways, those were those reviews in the Prime toy line and show are what got me that is when I consider myself a collector. That's when I started looking up okay, what are waves of figures and stuff like that. That's when I started realizing oh, these are coming out together. These are coming out to so that's when I started actually collecting, I guess. But let's see who has it gone. Soundjack. how about you?
I don't think he's here, man.
Oh, Soundjack is gone. Well, we're skipping Soundjack. Miguel, how did
Mr.
you
Doesn't
start
Internet.
collecting? Miguel?
Well, he saw this figure, and then he saw another one with different colored screws.
And he was like, "Oh man, that one has black screws. I need to buy that one." Hence, Miguel's collecting habits were formed. And unless Miguel speaks up, apparently that's going to be the story that we have.
He's doing an amazing Prime Soundwave right now. I'll give him that.
Agreed.
Wow. So we somehow we lost Miguel to the depths of space. He's still on the call. He's just gone silent. And then Soundjack's internet has killed him, which is, expected because for some reason it just does that at a specific time.
Yeah.
Once if he comes back, we can revisit that. But for now,
At 10:29 p.m., Soundjack realizes that his internet, which is solar powered, has failed.
also I feel like Tanner, did you have a random quote of the week in mind, or do you think that Miguel's is good enough for now?
That would be a pretty long quote. I mean,
No,
wait.
he already gave it.
Welcome back, Soundjack.
I did have a quote in mind, as I always do.
Oh, so you don't want it to be by Prime Soundwave?
I mean, well, it's relating to the Unicron article.
Okay. What is it?
And welcome to the quote of the week by Tanner Cannons. So this quote of the week is from the '86 movie, and it is spoken by the late great Orson Welles in his final role as Unicron, described by him as a toy that eats other toys. And the quote is entered near the end of the movie, right when Unicron transforms. Spoiler alert: Unicron transforms.
OMG.
And the quote is, he's speaking to Galvatron, who has just betrayed him because he tried to open the Matrix on him. And then Unicron's like, "Nah, you're a Decepticon. That's not how that works. You can't open it." And then the quote is,
For a time, I considered sparing your wretched planet. Now, shall witness its dismemberment.
and then Lennon was like, "No!" And then just giant hand, boom! And then Shockwave's like, "Decepticons, scramble!"
And then he died.
Did Skype just screw up for anyone else, or is that just me?
Nope. It's
Nope,
screwed up
we're
for me
good.
too.
Continue.
I'm fine.
But
And
anyways,
also, that
Must have been
scene
you and me,
also,
Chris.
that scene
Connection.
also is a great time to use the, and then there comes a giant fist!
yeah, pretty much. But Soundjack, really quick, what got you into collecting? Since you disappeared when we were answering the question.
Yes, I did.
Just try to
And I
keep it
missed
brief.
the others. Um,
Wait until you hear what got Miguel into collecting.
Let's say, yeah, you
Shit.
need to listen to the episode to find out what Miguel's collecting origin story is.
I do. You'll get an extra view out of me this week.
So does Miguel, actually.
But
You'll see.
the earliest I got into getting Transformers was when Transformers Cybertron. At some point, I don't know how I ended up finding it. I guess when Cybertron moved over to Cartoon Network during its series shuffling around, I happened to see it on Cartoon Network, and I just became instantly enthralled with it. I remember making sure the night before I would get up to get ready for school at 6:30 in the morning, but the episodes would be on at 6. I'm pretty sure. So there would be days I would have the VCR set the night before, recording the 6 a.m. episode so I could watch it when I got up at 6:30. And then at some point, I've never told anyone what my first figure has been. I've been kind of hoping that this would happen during the Q&A on my channel, but that didn't happen. So I'll just say it now. First figure I ever got was a
And
Cybertron
that's all the time we have.
mud flap.
That's wow.
It was what?
Which is ironic because it was such a horrible shelf warmer. Well, I'm pretty sure it's Cybertron Mudflap because that is the figure I remember the most for like just having in my hand being like, yes, I have a Transformer.
That was one I never.
If it was
got
not the
until I
first,
got-
it was definitely among the earliest, but I classify it as the first since that's the strongest memory I have is that one. I did fall out of collecting really during animated, like movie stuff. Like I got things periodically, but I didn't like really get into collecting until about Combiner Wars. I will say, like I got the figures, but I was like I gotta have them all.
Yeah,
completely.
I was gonna say Thrilling 30 is what like really started to get me on board, and then by the time of Combiner Wars, it was like it's everything. I'm buying everything.
Yeah. Was that brief enough for you?
Yes.
Yeah, that was good.
Still not as brief as Miguel.
This is true. Like Miguel's
Oh.
was definitely the best. You definitely have to listen. But this week's mascot is $300 plus bisque. It's a bisque that you have to buy for over $300, whether it's $320 or $330. It better be the best bisque that has ever been made. You know.
So it's just the bisques that you can find on eBay right now, right?
No, even those aren't over $300. Say
Oh, that's true. It's only about 100.
exactly. Like that's different. But anyways, is Miguel? Are you alive or are you not alive? He's not alive. Okay, he's not alive. So I will proceed with Miguel's part. Also on Nerdy Geek Talk this week. Nothing. I would say I'm sorry, but this is the only show that 95% of you care about anyways, so most of you are totally okay with that. I know some of you listen to Holocron Herald, maybe Mandalore Mandate, but again, I want to try to get those back, but the thing with summer is just that the scheduling does not work out so well. When I'm in school, it is so easy to get it. I mean, it's still stressful, but it's very easy to get the scheduling right for all of us. But just right now, it is awful. There
So
may
what
be
happens?
something soon though, in terms of because. I didn't actually. This is the first I'm telling either of you about it. Well, any of you about it too. Is that I'm doing 2 small little giveaways. This is me. So unlike Chris, you won't get your stuff like months and months after you win
I'm
the contest.
sorry.
That's why Chris isn't allowed to run contests on our show
I'm
anymore.
not. I am really, really sorry. I'm just a bad person.
I promise I'll get it out to you in a timely fashion. It's not anything big, but you will get a Shuffler and a Prime Master. I didn't actually buy the Prime Master yet, but you'll get a Prime Master. I'm not sure which one yet, so I don't want to promise. It's definitely a Wave 1, though. Just going to put that out there. Wave 1 Prime Master, probably Metal Hawk, but we'll see. And Shuffler, which if you don't have a Shuffler, you need a Shuffler. It's just going to be you have to retweet and follow the Steel City Bots Twitter account. So that's where we're going to do it through. But definitely make sure to go through there. That's going to be for the Shuffler. For the Prime Master, it'll be to like our photo on Instagram. So, and follow us on Instagram. You have to do both. So there's 2 little giveaways for that. And then also, there will be a tiny little giveaway for Mandalore Mandate / Holocron Herald. It's really the same thing because they're both Star Wars. But it'll be a Funko Pop. It'll be a C-3PO one. So you can get one of those if you like Funko Pop. If that's your thing, you can get one of those by checking out a new episode of Holocron Herald / Mandalore Mandate. I don't know which, if / both. We'll do it on within the next week or 2. That'll definitely be up, and that's why I can guarantee that'll be something new for one of those at least within the next week or 2 is because of that giveaway. And then for this, the contest does not have a giveaway yet. I think it's going to be around SDCC is when I'll probably like cut it off. So you have until then. So just go follow us at Steel City Bots on Twitter and then retweet the tweet, which will be tweeted by the time you listen to this. And also go follow and like the photo on Instagram at Steel City Bots. So pretty easy for both of those.
if you're interested in the Star Wars giveaway, that won't be for another week or two, but that will be through our Twitter at Nerdy Geek Talk, which is our network. So definitely there. And then for our podcast in general, you can find us by, if you're listening on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, or Podbean. Way to go. You're awesome. Subscribe to Nerdy Geek Talk there if you aren't. Or if you're listening on YouTube, that's cool too. Nerdy Geek Talk on YouTube. That's always good. So definitely subscribe to those places. I think that's about it for all those. So individually, you can find me at Eric Crowbar on Twitter. I'm really close to 500 followers. I don't know why, but for some reason, people like to follow me. So I'm really close. I'm kind of curious if that'll happen by SDCC, because I tend to get a surge, not like a big surge, but like a little bit of a surge around Transformers reveals and stuff, just because I probably because I'm more active around then. So I'm kind of curious if I'll pass 500 mark around then. I'm looking forward to that. So if you're not following me there, and if you need updates on what memes we were talking about, at Eric Crowbar, I'm telling you, definitely worth checking out. Miguel is still not back, I don't think so. At Logos Miners, where you can find him tweeting about different things.
Eric, on my end.
Okay, you totally just backed out. Your Skype just
You're going, it was hilarious.
your Skype just totally messed you up, so no one heard what you said. So that was kind of funny. But
My internet is dying so hard right now.
Wait, I actually have a slight bit of news too that I forgot to mention, which I don't know if any. Actually, we've talked about it, but we haven't mentioned this on the show. Underscore Zeus. Bless you, Soundjack. Underscore Zeus, who has appeared on the show. He is part of our show now. He is actually going to be representing Steel City Bots at the podcast panel at TFCon Toronto. Chances are I will be representing Steel City Bots at TFCon Chicago, but that's not definitive whatsoever. That still is yet to be planned. But yes, we are having our first official representation at a convention. So if you're anywhere near TFCon Toronto, definitely go, and if you can, say hi to Zeus, because he's a cool dude. So yeah, that's cool. Speaking of him, you can follow him at underscore Zeus. I'm not quite sure how he has it, but anyways, you'll find him if you follow us. You'll find it at Optimus Prime. Tanner, right?
Yes, that's correct. And also, get ready for a amusement park video, because...
Stop promising things that, you didn't promise, but stop saying we're going to give them things we're not. You're not going to get a video. Okay, so to clarify what he's talking about is that we've had a couple of Steel City Bots hangouts, not all of us, but like just the ones in Pittsburgh. But tomorrow we're actually going to have them, one of the co-creators of Nerdy Geek Talk, which is my brother, who has not appeared on a podcast in a long time. He has been on several of the podcasts, but not in a while. Also, our editor, Shay, my roommate at school, he will be coming as well. So they will actually finally, this is the first time any of them will be meeting Shay, our editor, who does so much work for here. We're all grateful for him. And then also John from Holocron Herald. So it'll actually be somewhat of a Nerdy Geek Talk meetup. That'll be the most Nerdy Geek Talk people we've had in one place at so far. So yeah, that's cool. We're going to an amusement park. If you're in Pittsburgh, it's Kennywood. If you live in Pittsburgh,
And
you know
if
what
you
it
don't
is.
know what that is and you live in Pittsburgh, what are you doing?
I was going to say, if you don't know what that is and you live in Pittsburgh, you've been living under a rock. But yeah, if you're not from Pittsburgh, it's just an amusement park. It's nothing super special other than awesome potato patch French fries. But
Yes, we can all verify on that. The ones.
So I gotta say, can't be better than Knobles.
I don't know about that. But anyways, Jared, since you'll be coming, what is your social media?
You can find me on Twitter at Jared Proco. That's where I'm at basically all the time. If you have any questions or want to know how I feel about something that's been revealed, ask away. Don't really have much to do on Twitter anymore. Other than that, you can find me on Instagram at ProgJar00, because I have recently started doing Nightbots, which is my play off of Eric's hashtag DeskBot. And yeah, pretty much what I do is I take a picture of one of my figures with a with
In the
some
dark
type
with a
of
color. Yeah, I was gonna say in the dark with a colored light, and it looks super
Yeah.
cool.
yeah, coming from a speaker, because that's literally what the light comes from. It literally just here. I actually have it right next to me for those on Skype. It's literally just a speaker. That
it just lights up. Nice.
Folks.
Yep, that just switches from one light to another.
Soundjack, what is your social media for everyone to find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram at SoundJack426. My YouTube channel is a toy review channel. Predominantly, it has been slow at the moment. I've been trying to work with new editing software, and I've been having syncing problems, which have been annoying me. So I'm going to try my best to get stuff out soon, but the syncing is killing me, and I hate it. I'm going to do it. It's going to be done. My Instagram, it's so frustrating. But my Instagram, I have photos of toys. I haven't posted there for a while because I have new photos of toys. But you know what? I'll try to get a couple of things out of the next couple of days, as well as on the Steel City Bots Instagram, which I've also been working on putting photos out for. And then my Twitter, it's just where I hang out. So come on by and say hi.
And then also I'm trying to think of, we will be having a new thing this week, as promised. I said within 2 weeks, and it will happen this week. It'll either drop Wednesday or Thursday, most likely. A new type of, it's a podcast.
Yes, fantastic.
And it is, we'll give some details on it now, but I mean, check out the pilot episode to obviously find out what it's really about. It's going to be sort of like reviews. The first thing we're going to be, the first one is going to be about the Wave 1 Studio Series Deluxe toys. So definitely go check out that. Keep your eyes peeled for that on the feed. Again, why you should subscribe to Nerdy Geek Talk on the podcast places and such. And then keep your eyes out for the contest. Also, Q&A posts will be going up. I keep saying that. It's actually going to go up this week because I'm actually out of questions. I've been delaying it, but say I'm actually going to post it everywhere. I think I sent out like a small tweet that only got a couple people to. I didn't keep pushing it, but I normally go to the Facebook groups too for a lot of questions. So we'll definitely have that up and out. If you're following any of us, you'll see it because I'll be retweeting it several times. So yeah, definitely keep your eyes peeled, and you have lots to look forward to. Have a great day, and thank you for listening. Bye.
Wait, I have one last
wait.
thing for
Eric,
any
you didn't talk
Norwegian
about me.
viewers. Tweet at Eric and myself. I want to know if any viewer out
yeah.
there.
Oh,
Eric, you're
I'm
forgetting
sorry,
someone.
Chris. Chris,
Yeah,
what's your Twitter? I'm sorry, Chris.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you couldn't hear me. My Skype was bugging out. Anyway, sorry. You can find me on Twitter at Soza Productions. I'm not on that account very often, but I'll see you if you tweet something at me. Please tweet something at me. I need activity on that account. Other than that, you can find me on YouTube at Sonozawa Productions. And I have an Instagram I don't use much. I'll
If
plug
you don't,
that.
I was gonna say if you don't use it, you don't have to plug it.
Actually, I might just, before the show. Was it Jared that gave me the idea, or someone else? I built a bar for my Transformers a few days ago. But the picture's on my main Twitter. I'm gonna start doing my own series of pictures potentially.
Let's
I'll
talk
put
more
those on.
about it.
So I'll put those on both of those accounts.
So yeah,
So
that'll be
look
cool to see.
forward to that maybe. Yeah.
All right, so definitely check all those out, and thanks for listening. Bye, guys.
Bye
Nara.
bye.